Anyway, that sort of seems to be the gist of it.
Okay, so this shows you all the different opinions, but this little tweet, how many people have interpreted it to be different, something different. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why he's selling all his physical possessions or why he even put that on Twitter, but he did. And that caused him to wipe off so much money out of his company. Like, it's quite scary. Like, let's go back to this and look at the amount of money that he wiped off his company just by putting a stupid Twitter account. 21 billion Australian dollars he wiped off his Tesla stock value. Now that's pretty serious stuff, just from a little tweet. And the reason I'm showing you this tonight is people in social media, they interpret what you put down in different ways. There's different nationalities, there's different ways people interpret. So something that you might write down about the company could be interpreted as something negative. And this in turn will be written about, it will be quoted, and it will become a story that, you know, that can do damage for the company. And the reason I've brought this up tonight was because I do see a lot of really sad stuff on social media, really scary stuff. And sometimes I see people venting on social media about their personal stuff, or they're complaining that they didn't get enough bonus for the month, or, you know, they're quoting things and it's not necessarily right. So what I want you all to do is consider what you post on social media. Consider what you write. And this little chart will just show you. It's a great little chart for when you want to post something and you're not quite sure. So you can, does this have value? Yes. Does this fit into the network's mission? And that's really important, because we want to post positive stuff to help our company grow. And if we don't sit there and start thinking about what we post, and our company, these comments are going to be picked up by media, it's going to be picked up by outside people, and it's going to be a really negative impact for all of us. So we need to become the police. We need to start saying no to people that post stuff that we know is either incorrect or is going to affect our company. And if you can, take a screenshot of this chart, or you can look at it in the replay. It's a really good little chart just to help you analyse what you're going to post. And people don't want to hear your personal stuff, especially on our company's social medias. We want to hear positive. We want to encourage the community to come in and grow, and we want to grow this business, because if we get to 10 million people, what is that going to do for us? We're laughing. So we need to help this company, our company, grow. So social media explained. Now, there's so many different platforms, and I love this explanation. This is different platforms of what they do. And notice there's no Telegram in there, because that's kind of hasn't really found its niche yet. Telegram's very chatty. This gives you a good overview on what different platforms are. For example, LinkedIn is really about business. It's really about your skills and connections. So if you're on a LinkedIn platform, you're connecting with professionals. Instagram, well, we all know it's all about the photo. Facebook, it's like how you're feeling. I like donuts, or I like, Coke or something. I like something. Twitter, it's about the hashtag. So when you're posting stuff on company social media, consider what you post. Is your post going to help our company grow? Is your post going to encourage new people to go, I want to be a part of this? Like, yeah, like how exciting, like for us to be right at the beginning of the growth of our company. We're like really amazing founders of this company, because we believed in the company before it's public and live. So we need to protect what we're doing. So your digital reputation matters. Do not post negative posts with the intent of hurt others. And this one's really there's a couple of admins I've seen around in some of the official company groups. Some of them can be really nasty and they need to stop. And I don't mind saying that because I've watched it for a long time. And if you see an admin being nasty, don't be afraid to say, this is on, guys. We've got to protect our company and our reputation, and we've got to make new people feel comfortable. Don't post untruths. If you don't know something, don't make it up as if it's factual, because chances are a lot of people will take that as real. If you don't know something, don't pretend, and your post could cause a delay in our company's progress. And that's what we've got to really think about. What we do is everything we do in the digital format, the world is going to start watching what we're doing. So I'm just going to, that was just my little vent for tonight, and I'm going to pass you over to Richard. And I just wanted to give everyone a little insight on social media and a little sort of maybe just to consider what you're doing, and let's support everybody and let's grow this business. Richard, it's over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Now I've got to do something with taking my screen.
I've got to stop sharing, and you've got to share your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I got this bit. I'm getting good at this stuff. Okay, and then I go to slideshow.
Yeah.
I should have got. Where is it? Why does it, that black thing, that black box, block me from? Okay, that'll do. Slideshow from current.
From the beginning.
All right, here we go. And how do I get rid of that little? I'll just get it right down there. I think that. Okay. I think everybody can do that. What? I'm going to. Are we recording this?
We are.
Good. What this presentation is designed to do is, there is so much going on in the company, and there's so many little things that are occurring that I was talking to someone in the group about the amazing connections that these things. It's a picture. It's sort of like. Let me go now. We've sort of based. It's sort of like this. It's sort of like a jigsaw puzzle at the moment. That there's so many little bits and pieces around that, until we start connecting all the little bits and pieces, the picture doesn't start to clearly show. And so I was thinking about it, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to write down all the little bits and pieces that I think are going to have a really positive impact on, particularly on the crew price, but on the company and its ability to grow. And I think this is incredibly important for people who are looking at doing this, the 5x5 fast promotion that's doing at the moment. This sort of information, if you understand it, will be, well, let me just, how do I get rid of all of these little boxes? How do I get rid of you all? No, I can't get rid of you. Go away. Oh, there you go. It'll be, it's so important to know how all these little pieces connect. And so what we thought we'd do is, if we put all the pieces down, and then as these things occur, as the changes and the things that I'm going to show on this presentation, you can tick them off, or you can be aware of them, because some of them aren't directly, they may not seem very important at the time that they occur, but they connect to something else that that will make it very, very important. And so each clue we find, and as each piece of the puzzle gets slowly put together, and I think it's not going to be slowly done. I think things are going to rapidly start moving now. And I think it is the greatest time to get really, really excited about things that are going to happen this month. They're going to happen virtually every month between now and particularly the end of the year. We have got some really, really exciting things to be looking at. Now, obviously, the one that, and it's occurred, and the VIP Club, it's been talked about for so long, and now it's finally arrived. There it is. That's the copy of it from my back office, talking briefly to people today. There's lots of people already joined. There's lots of people that have gone in and had a bit of a look around. People have even, and we're going to talk a bit later, people have even begun staking. But this club is one of the really key pivotal parts of the company program to drive membership and also drive the crew price. And we're going to be looking at that quite often tonight, because at the end of the day, the education that we get from the company, I really enjoyed. I've found it very, very beneficial. It's helped me a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm also very, very keen on watching that crew price go up. And so the VIP Club, a lot of people see a VIP Club as a club for elite people and people who are kind of special, not because they necessarily have done anything, but they're just high profile people, like we understand VIPs in our society. But Andre sees the VIP Club as being a place that you go to utilise and get the advantage of particular products and skills and tools to actually help build. It's not a place where you're going to go and kick back and be served and be waited on hand and foot, like a lot of people have the image of a VIP club. He sees it as quite a different club. And also, it's very important for company funding. One of the problems that the company has had, and we've all been aware of it, that there isn't a steady, reliable, bankable amount of money that Andre can know is going to be coming in, so he can use it to offset payments on some of the venture capital projects that he's got. And a lot of the money, and okay, now we've just got this club up and running, and then we're going to find out later that we had a great month this month, but it has been a problem for a very, very long time, the inconsistent levels of funding that come into the company. So the VIP Club is a really neat way of addressing that and getting a really consistent funding. So that's clue number one. Clue number two, and this is something that we need to be really aware of, is stage changes. And we've just moved into stage two. It's if you look at the numbers at the end of May, when stage two is supposed to be finished, we're supposed to have 1.3 million people, according to the chart that Andre Harato produced a few webinars ago. We've already got that. If you look at the figures that were released on this last webinar on Saturday, we already have the numbers that are needed for us to be able to move on from stage two. We don't have the funding for it yet, but we've got the numbers. And the numbers are very, very critical, and we have the greatest chance to press home the advantage in all of the people that we can recruit in May, just actually help June. So we're already ahead of the game as far as numbers go, which is a lot of people that were very, very concerned that this 10 million figure is unattainable and it's not reachable and all that sort of stuff. But it is, if people get excited and if people are aware of all what's going on. And so these are the clues that we're going to go through tonight. But a stage change, and every time they come up, the stage change is something that we really have got to get terribly excited about, and we need to look forward to the next, because stage 3 and 4, I don't know if people have noticed it, but stage 3 and 4, according to Andre's plan, both occur in the same month. So I don't fully understand that, but there's obviously something brewing that is going to allow. We're going to have 2 stages roll over in the 1 month, according to his plan, and that's something that we really need to keep our eye on. Another thing that we need to keep our eye on, this is, out of, it's a bit left of centre, is the Air Ministry of Russia allowing flights, to approve flights to begin again in Russia. We need that so desperately for our legal team to be able to go to the US to present our documentation to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. The Securities and Exchange Commission need paperwork. They actually need hard copy paper. And so our legal team, we actually need to be able to fly there and do it. So this is a big clue that if you're watching the news and you just happen to notice that flights are lifted and they're allowed to, flights, approval has been given for flights in Russia, get excited, because that is going to be something that will make a difference to our company and to crew. The intrinsic value of our coin is another really, really exciting thing. Now, if you notice, it's gone up. The base price has gone up from 15 cents. It's now at 20 cents. That means that the crew went up 30% overnight. It's gone up. I think it's progressively gone up there, but the base price went up 30% when that shift occurred, and that is something that we really, really, really. I mean, I get really excited about it, but it is something to be really focused on, because it wasn't actually announced. You'll see it if you look at the spread, the way the spread changed. You will be able to work out that if the spread now is +12, is -12 or +8, that can only, and have those numbers that are shown on the screen there, that can only work if the base price is 20 cents. Now, the base price used to be 15 cents, but if you look at the mathematics there on that screen, it doesn't add up if it's 15 cents. So it's actually gone up to 20 cents, and that's pretty exciting. Staking begins, and staking has begun. And there's a little shot there on the left-hand side of the screen that shows a few people, some people from Indonesia were not kind enough to share that with me so I could show it tonight. And there's some people there. You can see the different staking periods, the money there. Rita has produced a really nice short video about how to stake, the actual mechanics of what buttons you press, where to go, how to do it, what pops up on your screen. It's a really, really good video to go and have a look at. She did a really good job there, but it started, and that is another one of these little pieces of the puzzle that lets us know that that we are really, really heading towards the end of that tunnel. End of month reports are really they ask something that we really need to really get into, and we're going to talk about the ones that have come up in this last webinar on Saturday night. But you need to be looking at those reports because there's subtle little things that you can see what the growth or what changes have occurred and how they're valuing things. And if we understand those values, we'll understand why a portfolio can increase, but a dividend, it has no impact on the dividend. But a lot of people think that because the portfolio went up, that somehow that means that dividends are going to be paid and things like that. But if you see where the company is putting its money and how the money's being spent, you get a better understanding. And when you have that better understanding, it's easier to talk to people about it. It's easier to show them what the company's doing and where the money's being spent. And that gives people a lot of confidence that the company really has a plan and really knows sort of the direction that it's going. But it's really, these are really important things to be looking at. Another thing that is something that we should be really happy about is the fact that the company have engaged a professional marketing company. I know it's something that a global concept of marketing is what the company has needed for a very long time. We have our Andre was talking about the example of the gold coin that they made, that he felt that they would just sell, so quickly because the package that was attached to that was such a good value package. But the message never got across to people about that. And I mean, I must admit, I'm one of the ones that I wasn't interested in buying a gold coin, so I never even looked at the package. But apparently that package was actually a really good value package. And so he's acknowledged the need for professional marketing people to help him explain what he's doing in a better way. And we're going to start to see the benefits of that as they take on what's been going on. They've been looking at us, looking at what we do as a company all the way around the world, seeing where we're at the moment, and then they will get back to Andre. But they knew going in that his dream was to, his goal, his dream, his desire was to come up with 10 million people by the end of this year. So it's not something that they took this, they came to us and joined with us, not knowing why they were being engaged to help us. And that's something that we should be really excited about, that the people, that they know what our goal was, and they're going to help us in a really big way achieve this 10 million and achieve the other criteria that Andre needs to get this crew price up to the figures that he thinks are possible. Again, another valuable clue. This is a really important part of what we're going to do with the security token, because the Boston Token Exchange is the biggest exchange in the world. And it's going to be the one, even though everybody's ducking the issue and that nobody's really putting their hand up. Believe me, this will be the exchange that Andre wants to get our token onto. In fact, he's so wanting it. The girl, the legal lady, it might have been even Maria, when we submit our paperwork to the Securities and Exchange Commission, we have to nominate where we're going to trade our tokens. We've got to, and because this particular exchange doesn't have the approval yet to be able to do it, we are holding off submitting our paperwork until this particular exchange gets its approval. Now, they're on a 90-day trial. They were given a conditional approval subject to a 90-day period where any other exchange can lodge a complaint or lodge a notice against the Boston Exchange getting its approval. And the reason why someone would do that is once security tokens become more and more popular, they will eventually replace shares. A token can be traded 24 hours a day. It can be traded 7 days a week. The trading is more simple. It's very, very uncomplicated to trade tokens. And once the concept of security tokens becomes more and more understood, more and more companies will convert their shares to security tokens, which is a big problem for places like the New York Stock Exchange. So they're not going to be 100% happy that Boston gets security token license. Thankfully, they can't lodge a complaint purely against commercial competition. That's not a grounds for a complaint. But so we need to watch this space. This month, May, if nobody blocks the Boston Token Exchange, and we get to the end of this month, and if they get their approval, then that is another really big move forward for us, because then we can nominate this exchange on our paperwork when we submit it to the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is extremely important. Another really important component of transparency and also credibility and all of the things that being a part of the Direct Selling Association of America will help us be, that this organisation really gives Andre a big tick when we get that. We've submitted our application for it. When we get the approval and we can actually put that on our paperwork, that is a really big tick for us. And it's something that we really need to get excited about, because it will impact the growth of the company and it will impact the price of crude going up. This is probably fairly common knowledge, but again, when these actually happen, these are things that we really, when we finally get the landing pages that where people can come and then they can do their due diligence on us. At the moment, it's kind of, I reckon it's really hit and miss when people try, they look up information about us, and a lot of people will go do a Google search and they will hit all kinds of stuff that isn't true, but it is very confusing to people. But it is going to be so much easier for all of us when we can just give them a link to a landing page, and the landing pages there'll be various forms of them, and people can go and they can go and see auditors' reports, they can go and see contracts, they can go and see the growth of the company, they can actually go and see for themselves, and then they can come back to us. We will know what's on it because we'll all have gone and looked at it and sort of understand it. But when people can see the track record of the company, that is going to be such a big bonus for all of us in being more able to attract people and to be more confident in when we say something to someone, we can tell them, go onto this link and you'll see all of this stuff, and it all will be laid out for us by professional marketing people who know how to take people from point A to point B to point C. They can take people on this incredible research of our company, and it's so important that these happen. Okay, some of these things we all know that are really, really critical to the company. You know, the blockchain and the nodes becoming operational. Well, we've already got the first two up and running. Our back office there's lots and lots of information is getting transferred to the back office. We got a really, really good rundown from Maria on Saturday night on her section of the webinar. She went into great detail where you can go in to your back office. You can look up yourself, your own history. You can look up all the transactions that you've done with the company, and it's nice, it's nice to know that it's there. But it's great to be able to tell other people that we've actually got it, and they can go and have a look at the overview on the Explorer, on the EOS Explorer, and they can actually see all of this. It's like what used to be on the Ethereum website, but it's our own blockchain. It's not something that on the Ethereum website, they actually saw the end result of activity. When they go on to this EOS Explorer, you can actually see the activity going on. It's fascinating to watch, and it is so important that people can see that we're with the technology is there behind the company, and if they understand blockchain and they understand these things, they'll understand about the security and the confidence that it gives people. And it's a clue to the light being well and truly bright at the end of the tunnel, and it's another clue that will help the price of crude, because these are the components, these are the things that the digital world, people who are going to come to our company are people who are very, very conversant with the digital world, and when they see these sorts of things, they are very, very relaxed, and they just embrace it because they understand it. We got a great oversight on the Genius of Finance game on Saturday night by the lady in charge of doing that, and her name just escapes me right now. But how good is this going to be when that becomes an online version of it in August of September? It's going to be something that it's not everybody's cup of tea. And when I played the game when we did Master Profi, although I think when we played it, we didn't quite really understand it. We had a lot of fun, and we made up a few of our own rules because we didn't understand quite what was going on. But the advances that have been made in this game and the formatting of it and the way that they're going to do it, it is going to be a really good tool that people can use for people who are really serious about wanting to know about the financial literacy and financial education. It does it in a unique way, but it's something that when that goes online, you can play against a computer, you can play against friends, you can play against people all over the world. It is going to be a really, really good clue to, again, the progression of the company. That's another thing that the company are working on. and that it's all moving towards the goal of giving us a greater presence on the digital world, and that does affect our crew. Obviously, the opening of the external exchange is something that we're all going to get to hear about and we're all going to know, but it's just another clue that we're moving forward, and that's going to happen next month, according to all of the timelines that have still been put out just recently. We should be at that point this next month. Digital wallets go hand in hand with the platform, and they're another thing. It's no big deal. So we got a digital wallet. Yeah, it is a really big deal because it's just another step forward. It's another part of the process that we've got to get through to ultimately get to attract the 10 million people that we're wanting to attract. So when this occurs, it's just another thing that we can tick off of the big list of things that we need to do, and get really, really, really excited that we've actually got one, and what it means to us as we move forward. Okay, an extension of what we talked about before with the airline flights, it's going to be something that we really want to know about, and we really need to be very, very mindful of, is that when the presentation of the legal team actually do the presentation of CAU to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. Because what we're looking for is you don't actually get with the SEC, you don't actually get a yes or no answer. You get a rating. So they will rate, they'll have a look at the paper, unless it's a complete, utter disaster. But we want an A rate. We want a AAA rating, I'm guessing, but I don't know whether we'll get that up front. But what we're looking for is that the legal team's presentation gives us an extremely high rating. And then we want to be monitoring that and watching the news and watching what comes out of the back office when we get told that that's going on, because how high our rating is going to affect the type of institutional buyers who will be attracted to our crew. And the more powerful and the more financially able those institutional buyers are, well, obviously there's a very, very big impact for us on crew prices. We've seen a little thing of our utility coin. That's obviously going to become this is the everyday user coin that hopefully as it rolls out, we can exchange this on other exchanges. We can swap it for other cryptocurrencies. We can trade it for fiat currency. We can, in time, when you go to with the deal that they've got going with this Shikard program, that when that rolls out, that we may be able to go use our utility coins to buy products and services from our partner companies. And that's something that is, again, a really, really important step forward. And a utility coin is going to be linked to the price of crew. So as crew goes up, well, the value of the utility coin also goes up. So that's a really, really important thing to be monitoring and looking at, and just watching and being aware of. Hand in hand with that is also the stable coin that the company's going to release. Stable coin is pretty much, it's kind of like the shock absorber on your car in the crypto world, that it cushions out wild fluctuations that occur in the crypto world. The value of CRU is that it's not going to be, see, something is volatile only because it's backed by people's perception of its value. And that's very obvious with Bitcoin, you know, at the moment, that it can be, you can have a, you know, you can be very, very wealthy one day and 6 months later you can be pretty poor, because perception changes the value of the most cryptocurrencies. The value of CRU is, though, that we're asset backed. And so the value is not by perception, the value is by observation. You can actually see the value when you go to those end of month webinars and things like that. You'll see where the value of CRU comes in. You will also see that the stable coin then has a lot of strength because it's backed by the portfolio fund. So it's something that is will be, you can buy and sell them, and it's another, having a strong and stable coin structure helps promote and stimulate the CRU, the value of CRU, because the entire company excuse me, token structure becomes very, very stable, very, very solid, and it's not susceptible to wild fluctuations. So those two coins, the utility coin being a daily use coin, the stable coin being exactly what it is, somewhere that you can go to when things are a little bit hectic and bouncing around. And then, of course, our CRU, which is the you know, the one you bank away and just enjoy the benefits from month after month. Our white paper, which now, according to latest information, we will get that this month. It's not the white paper that was sent to, that would go to the SEC. This white paper will be more a white paper that is for advertising and promotion, but that's due out this month. Now, when that comes, how long have we all been waiting for this white paper? We've been waiting for it for a very long time. Well, according to Saturday's webinar, we're going to get that this month. So that'll be very, very exciting, and you're going to be able to show, finally, show some something really tangible that will have auditors' reports in it. It'll have documentation that if people are thinking that what you're presenting to them somehow isn't real, they will know that when they're finished reading this white paper, that what you're showing them is something that is really very, very real. And so that's a really big clue that we're getting closer to the end of the end of the tunnel. The yellow paper, well, that's not something that probably many people will ever get to read. It's a really technical paper that just goes into all the coding and all of the encryption and all the behind the scenes, and we're talking about electronic scenes and coding scenes of how our blockchain works. But it's necessary to know about. So when you're talking to people, it doesn't mean that you have to be able to explain it, but we need to know its existence, that it does exist, and that it's been released. And that's another one of these clues that we're just presenting, that when these things, the white paper and the yellow paper pretty much come out simultaneously, but it's just another little thing that we tick off as being the company we're heading in a direction that's positive, and we're in a direction that's going to make the price of CRU continue to rise. I mentioned it before, the auditor's report. That's another report we've been waiting for for a very long time, but it's a complex. The company is actually a complex company with the various things that they invest in. It's not just because it's a multi-discipline investment portfolio. There's lots of different aspects to it. You can't just. They've had to use auditing firms who have an expertise in the area that they're looking at to be able to assess the value of it for the company. But if we're going to be getting the white paper this month, then we also will be getting the auditor's report. Now, these are going to be available in our back office. So again, these are things that are really, really exciting, because when you have someone throw something at you and you're stumped for an answer, or where they say, oh, prove it, well, with an auditor's report, you can. If you present a genuine auditor's report and somebody scoffs at that, then you're really wasting your time continuing a conversation with that person. Just ignore them. That a genuine auditor's report and the white paper, not so much the yellow paper unless you're talking to someone extremely technical that's into blockchains, but these two documents, for most of us, for you and me, they are going to be our biggest sales tools to be able to confidently say to someone, you know, this is 1, 2, and 3. This is what the company is doing, and here is the paperwork. Here is the evidence that backs it up, and it's going to be a huge, big bonus to us in the recruiting the numbers that we need, and also even for people who aren't necessarily network marketers. They're not sort of really into that. They want to just invest their money if for themselves. They don't necessarily want to go telling all their friends about it for the point of getting them to join the company. But what people do is, there's an expression that says that people, I've got to get this expression right, that they buy emotionally, but they defend things logically. And what the auditor's report and what a white paper does is it gives the logical support to the emotional thing of, I want to be rich, or I want to buy a car, or pay my house off, or take my family on a trip overseas. That's why people are going to buy their EIPs, or they're going to buy their, go and buy on the exchange. So that's the emotional thing. But we will be able to give them the logic, and you've been able to do that. We will really improve our ability to make sales and to keep people motivated and happy, and again push towards those numbers Andre wants and the ensuing crew price. Shikard is obviously another huge big thing that when that starts to roll out, if you understand what that is, it's a really unique loyalty rewards program, because it's not most rewards programs and loyalty programs impact the customer. The customer gets the benefit from the loyalty program. With the Shikard system, a shop owner gets involved in a rewards program. If he has the Shikard system and he enrolls his customers, he's actually earning a percentage off whatever they're doing with other Shikard owners. And if the world is going to be climbing out of a coronavirus virus program of needing to rebuild and regrow, and businesses are going to need to rebuild. The SHICARD system could be something that is really interesting to someone who is trying to rebuild their business. So it's something that we need to be very, very excited about, that we actually have. We've got it to be able to show it to business people, and it's just a clue. It's not the thing that's going to push the price of crew up. It's not the thing that is going to get the 10 million people that we need, but it's just one of the pieces of the puzzle that will certainly move towards achieving those two things. Just again, a thing that is, you look at it and you sort of think, well, how does that work? But that testing facility that Skyway are building in the UAE, that will have a positive effect on our company. We are still very, very tightly aligned with that, or with what Skyway are doing, and anything that occurs there will have a flow-on positive effect to our crew. These unique EIPs that have been talked about, that are now will become available, not now available, but they will become available through the VIP club. These are, again, just added little, I call them clues, but they're added little pieces of the puzzle that help us all we'll be able to invest in something that will make us a lot of money in time. But they're all facets and little extra areas that people who want to invest in the company can take up an option, and all of this makes the company more attractive to more and more people, and it's just something that, again, is so worth monitoring and watching. And when these things start to come out, just know that it's another step forward towards getting to that, what I keep referring to as the end of the tunnel, but getting that crew price to a really, really high level, and also getting memberships and people joining. How many people would like to see one of these things eventually come back? I think we all would. Now, dividends have been earned pretty much every month. It's just that they're so small that they just get reinvested. But actually getting one that would appear in our back offices and in our wallets, that is going to be something that will be really, really exciting, and really will generate more excitement in the public arena. When people, when we start getting them paid, and people can see that they're getting them paid, that when they're buying their crew, it's not just because they're buying it because the price will go up and they'll sell it, but they're going to actually get a tangible monthly income from it. And we talk about it all the time, that eventually it'll come, eventually, and it will absolutely, it will eventually come. But wow, when it does come, how exciting is that going to be for us all? But that's a really big clue that things are really, really hotting up, and that light at the end of the tunnel. Same as the Genie Pay system, or if it's, I think it will be the Genie Pay system, but if it's not, it'll be something equivalent. To having that flexible payment program of being able to use utility coins, or using fiat currency, using it in various different places, it's going to be a really big plus, and just keep monitoring that, because that's on the cards well and truly to be operating this year. That's got to run hand in hand with the Shikard program. So it's like I was saying at the beginning of this thing about a jigsaw puzzle, that GeniePay and Shikard are two pieces that will lock together and create a big part of the picture. But when they start rolling that out and start talking about that, again, that is something to get really solidly excited over. We've talked about these a couple of times now, but when we actually get our rating, I think when we get our rating, and certainly if we get it at a AAA, I don't really know where you are in the world, but I think you'll hear me give a shout of joy, certainly if we get a AAA rating. But that's a big clue that things are moving forward, because what happens here, and this is where it gets really exciting. Whatever crew any of us are holding, you can look at that and say, on the exchange, it's worth 20 cents, it's worth $1, it's worth $2. And as a crew point, it's sort of like it's theoretically possible that it's worth that, that it's, somebody might argue, or they'd sort of, that it's not validated that it's actually worth that. But when this organisation give us our rating and say that this is real, this token is real, and the value attached to it is real, and the methodology that's been used to create the value is real, and what they're backing this thing is real, and this organisation, its rating affects the entire world. It's accepted all over the world that the US Securities and Exchange Commission rating is valid, and that is going to suddenly change. If you work out what your crew value is, and you say, oh, I've got $500,000 worth of crew points. Once this organisation say that this is no longer a point, but it is a token, and is a token that is rated at whatever they give the rating for, you then have a really, really tangible asset. It's a genuine, absolute, real. It's no longer a theoretical discussion that you'll have with someone about how many hundreds of thousands or millions or whatever it is that you've got. How much worth you are with these tokens becomes no longer theoretical. It becomes real once the US Securities and Exchange Commission gives it its rating, and it floats on the exchange with that rating. So that is a huge, huge clue that we are really heading somewhere very, very big. STO is obviously another huge big step, because once we get that rating, and once and depending on how high it is, then all of a sudden some very, very significant people who aren't allowed to buy and sell unsecured tokens by the nature of their organisation, what they can trade in, suddenly we become on their radar. So when that STO occurs, which is again scheduled to supposed to be by the 30th of September this year, all things going well and running smoothly and all that sort of stuff, that's a big, big clue that we are just about to that we are sitting on some big time, because I doubt whether you're going to get a significant STO without that approval coming first from the Securities Exchange Commission, and then hold on to your hats when that happens, because crew will take off big time. And this sort of flows into the next the next part of buying and the value of crew and the movement of the company. Once institutional buyers step in, they step in when it's something that they can see that's of big value, and they draw other institutional buyers into the same thing. That if one buyer starts moving into an area of investment and an area of purchasing, it doesn't take long for other people to know what they're doing and go and have a look. And so it feeds off itself. And if we can produce the numbers that AK needs us to produce, and people are looking and they see these numbers, then it just becomes a foregone conclusion that institutional buyers will start buying these. Now, some will trade them. They'll buy and sell them. They'll move in and out of the crew market. But some of the smaller institutional buyers will actually buy them, and they'll stake them, and they'll hang on to them as a safety net, or as a part of an asset purchase program that they actually keep. And that will be, once we get those buyers in the market, that'll be another really big clue for us to be monitoring and being aware of. Getting back to our friends at Skyway, once that project starts in Dubai, again, the commercial project that they're going to do in downtown Dubai, that's going to be another thing which will have a spin-off effect on us. And we need to be it's just a clue that, you know, things are going to have a positive impact on our crew price, and that's something that we need to be monitoring. Dragon Man, that gets released. That's going to be just another part of the things that we need to be looking at and understanding. The release of Dragon Man will have a direct impact on the price of our crew. Anything that is a positive for the company will have a really, really positive impact on our crew. And if Dragon Man gets released and is the success that everybody seems to feel that it is going to be, then that is a big, even though it's going to be released in China and India, it is still going to impact crew all over the world. So we're pretty much wrapping up these things that I've sort of come up with. But as each clue is uncovered and each piece of the puzzle is put into place, the whole picture of new and what it's intended to do and what it's trying to create will become easier to define and see, and it will make our crew and utility coin and stable coin become more valuable and sought after. But it also will make presenting the story of the Academy of the Private Investor and the concept of new, it'll make it so much easier for us, and it will also therefore help as each of these things occur. It helps us show it to people, and our membership will increase as a result of that, and that will also have a positive impact on the price of crew. So we do need to be, I think, we really do need to be excited about all these we do need to be excited about the VIP club up and running now, and staking up and running now, and the intrinsic value of the coin going up and moving to stage 2. And these are things that we really, really do need to be tremendously exciting about, because all of these little bits of the puzzle fit, and the great big picture that we're trying to see becomes very, very real. Okay, that completes that. We did say that we'd do a quick little rundown on things that occurred on the webinar on May the 2nd, a couple of points. Isn't this a great idea? How many people have longed to have somewhere where they can just go and, this is going to put a lot of responsibility on uplines to start, supporting their downlines. A lot of responsibility on all of us to make sure that what we say and how we say it is correct, because we're going to become more and more answerable to not only just to ourselves but to the company. And I think that's a great department to see the company opening up. And Mila tells us there's going to be more this month, different departments opening. So ethics department, great. That was talked about in the webinar. This is another thing that was talked about in the webinar on its way to us soon, a specific training program that was developed by the Italian arm of the company, where they have specific training for each of the different ranks. So if you're a consultant, you will go to a meeting that the gist of the meeting you go to is for consultant level people and discussing the issues that they see are particular to that of a consultant. If you're higher up the level, well, you'll go to another meeting and discuss points and be instructed on points that are relative to the particular level that you're at. So that's a really, really good thing. It's going to be in 5 different languages, so there's a fair chance that most of us are going to get some value from that. So that'll be something that's good to watch and see. How's that for a big plus? $6 million for the month in sales. What I thought was quite interesting is we've over the last couple of months we've kind of delayed moving from stage 1 to stage 2 because we weren't getting the required numbers. Now they have to delay it because we were getting such big numbers. They couldn't fit everybody in the time that was left for the closing date. So I think that was the irony of that was quite striking and quite good. But that's a pretty big number for the month. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts on things down the track. Now, this is something that I thought was fascinating because a lot of people ask me, they say, "Oh, how's the Corona thing affected your company?" And we talk about that. Yeah, and we know that the Corona thing, it stopped some of the production for the basalt facility that was moving forward, and it has, and we know that it stopped our legal team from flying to the States. But this was a comparison of the portfolio value between March to April. And look at this now. I think this is fascinating. I was listening to the news today, and the Westpac Bank here in Australia is deferring. They're not paying a dividend in this quarter because they've had a 70% drop in cash profits. That's a massive, massive drop. Now, and it's all Corona affected and there's all this sort of stuff. But look at this figure here. Over here, this is what our investment value was in March. And with all the grief that's going on in the world, and let's face it, it is massive. This is what it's worth in April, and this is because it's gone down that much. And that much compared to $400 million is, let's face it, it's 6 parts of nothing. So it's nothing to be concerned about. But isn't it brilliant? This is what I think anyway. Isn't it brilliant that we've got a person who has constructed such a balanced portfolio, he's structured something that's so well that in a world where professional big organisations are going down by massive percentages, and 70% is a massive drop for a bank. And yet we've been able to ride out so far all of the drama with the corona stuff. Yes, it's affected us. We, haven't been able to do as much as we wanted to do. But the impact on the value of our portfolio is so tiny because it's structured so well. And that is something, whether you're a network marketer or whether you're someone who's looking at this company from the point of view of an investment, that is something that you should be taking a lot of joy. Okay, hey, it'd be lovely if it wasn't a down, but I don't think there's a company anywhere in the world that is of any sort of significance that isn't, particularly an international company, that isn't going to have some sort of negative impact. But if you work out what that percentage drop is, it's 0.004. I think it's 0.004 something of a percent. It is so tiny. And we should be really, really thankful and excited, not excited that it lost, but excited that the portfolio has been structured so well that it actually has only been affected such a tiny, tiny amount. Now, who's seen these things? These things are a brainchild of a couple of people. Now, this is mine. I got number one, and the way this works is if you're a member of the Innovative Education Telegram group, the moment your crew, when multiplied by the exchange rate, gives you 1,000,000 points, you let Michelle know, and she will produce one of these little beautiful certificates for you. You'll get it. It's numbered, and it's pretty cool. We thought we'd do it. Naj McCann actually suggested it. She was talking to me about some promotional things and some ideas, and she thought this would be a good idea. So we talked about it, and then I talked to Michelle about it, and we decided that, yeah, we also thought it would be a really good idea. So that's sort of just something that, and then this is the other one which we're doing. It's just, we've already got our number one participant. She's a centurion. She's an educational group centurion because she's successfully helped over 100 people. She's got over 100 people in her downline. So good on Eva. I guess I'll just call her Miss Dolbear. How's that? That would get me out of trouble. But good on her. And that, people, pretty much wraps up my bit for the night. Michelle, if you want to take everything back,
Hello, everybody.
I will hand it back to you.
What a great presentation, Richard. Thank you so much for your knowledge and sharing this information with us. I feel so honoured to be a joint admin with Richard in our Telegram group, and he constantly helps people all the time. And I love working with him. It's so much fun, and we should be so grateful that he's out here giving us this information. And our goal for our Telegram group was to be on the people's level. We don't want to talk high figures because we're just like you guys. Like, the information we're collecting is from the webinars and from websites, and we try and get a bit of information. We're not on any of the councils. We're just people like you guys trying to learn and trying to work out the puzzle. And we both believe we've got so much exciting times ahead of us in future, and you know, it's just amazing, like what we've got to look forward to. So we're going to open it up. So can you please put a plus in the chat, and
what's this?
Yeah, for Richard to say thank you. And I'm going to unmute everybody, and then I don't know how I do this, but I'm still learning too. And if anybody wants to ask Richard a question, let's do this. Oh, thank you, everybody. Michelle Starr, thank you so much. It's lovely. Gary, Jessie, thank you. Kitty, I'm probably missing people here because it's going so fast.
This poor man, he's had his hand up all night. How do we talk to him, or whatever he's trying to do?
Sometimes it could be a mistake. Sometimes people like click on the button. Like so.
Okay. This poor man, he's had his hand up since before we started.
Okay. Who wants to ask the question? Let's go, guys. Thank you for all the pluses. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, thank you for them.
They're looking pretty cool.
Okay.
Who wants to ask a question?
Anne were you Anne Shelley Smith? Did you want a question? Did you want to ask a question?
I'm on the phone, love, so I can't type anything in, but I just want to say thank you very much. I really enjoy these and I learn so much, so it's wonderful, and I appreciate all your information. I write it all down.
Love it.
Okay.
So thank
Beautiful.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Come on, we know you guys want to ask questions. Here's your chance.
No, we can go. I can go to bed early if there's no questions. Yep. Anne.
I think Annie Schwab wants to ask.
Okay. Obviously, if you've got all my questions, obviously, if you do your staking for more than 1 month, say you do your staking for 6 months, obviously you've got to be in the VIP club for 6 months and pay your fees, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's one of them. And I'm also a bit confused how you actually get paid out on that. Like,
Okay.
do you get like the crew points and bonuses, or do you get part of it that goes into your bonus account that you can actually draw out?
Okay. When you go on, I went on tonight to have a look. When you click on a staking, now I saw the 24-month one. It actually gives you this comprehensive story, like a whole, tells you exactly what days you're at the moment we're getting paid in crew points. Now that will eventually change. We've been told that will eventually change to utility coins, but right now when you click on a staking period, it will tell you when your period, like over the 12 months, it'll tell you that your first one, your second one will be in 30 days, and the next one will be in 62 days. And it breaks down exactly what the intervals that your staking period is going to start. It also gives you the dates or the time frame that your crew that you've earned as interest will be credited to your unlocked crew account. So you'll get that into that account. It tells you how many crew you will earn over the entirety of the period that you're staked for. It's a really, really good, like, for people to go and have a look, to just sort of see what they want to do. It gives you a really good summary before you have to commit, before you press the confirm button. It gives you a really good summary, but it is paid in crew. It's paid, your crew is accrued monthly, and it's paid into your unlocked account. But yeah, that's the way it's set up at the moment. Now, eventually, it'll change to utility coins, and then they will be paid into your wallet.
Right, so you don't get paid in cash where you can get paid.
No, everything is paid. Everything is paid. Right now, it's paid in crew, and eventually it will get paid after, I'm guessing, if the external exchange opens on the 30th of June, which is what the time frame that they gave us on Saturday night is, then it'll get paid into your wallet and your back office.
Okay, thank you.
I think we've got a question from Jessie. Jessie, do you want to ask us, or do you want me to read it out to you? I'm going to unmute you. No, it's not. Jessie's asked, my question, by the way, is when will the last day of the VIP club payment be? I don't know whether that's month to month.
Yeah, when you make your payment, like it tells you if you make your payment today, it will actually tell you that in 29 days. It actually tells you on the screen the exact time that you've joined up, the exact time it expires. There's a tab there that you can activate, which is an auto renew facility. So it will just automatically renew your membership a day before it actually expires. It'll just automatically take the money out of your account to pay your ongoing fees. But it does tell you, if you were just doing it for 1 month, it actually does tell you the date that it does expire.
Yeah, it does. I just
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
No worries.
And we've got one from Yolanda. Yolanda, do you want to just ask your question? Okay, I'll read it.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. I had to find my little buttons. Okay, it might be a little bit of a pre-empt question in advance because we still have to find out how everything's going to work. I'm just trying to scroll up here so I can read my question out. So I just wanted to find out, maybe it's too soon to ask, but when we launch on the external exchange and we have staking in place, how will the bonus be calculated into the wallet? For example, 150 CRU points in the portfolio on internal exchange.
Yeah.
Will that be converted to 150 units into the bonus wallet on the external exchange? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. We haven't been told yet what the ratio, what the proportional change from crew to utility coins is going to be. What we know is the utility coin is tied to the crew, as in its price increasing facility.
Right.
But we haven't been told whether it's going to be a 1-for-1 or is it a 10-to-1 or 50-to-1. But we don't know whether one crew point is that going to be one utility coin, or is it going to be 10 crew points to one utility coin? We just haven't been told yet.
Excellent, thank you.
All right.
We've got one from Lynn Hoffman. Lynn, do you want to ask the question, or do you want me to read it out? Okay. If one begins staking, for example, only tomorrow, does that member get their first bonus in the next month, and so on? What date does the payment actually begin?
Yeah, okay. And when you before you actually confirm, I like that little thing I was saying before, there's a little summary that comes up on the screen, and it tells you exactly the dates that you're going to have your accrued into your account. It's a really, really good, it really is a very, very good synopsis of what your account is going to, what's going to happen to your account. So the best thing to do is to go in and have a look at it, and then pick the time frame that suits yourself. But it actually does tell you, if you took one out tonight, it will tell you, even before you take it out, when you're just looking at it and assessing it, it will tell you all of the dates for the entire duration of that staking period, when you will get paid, and when your accrued points will be accrued to your back office. It's a really, really good, it's actually very, very, I mean, the only trick to going in is that you need to click the little drop-down box to convert it to English, because I think it comes out standard. The standard format is Russian, but even before you get into it, there's a little drop-down box you can click on and just press English. Well, for me, English, and then you'll have the rest of it is all in English. But it's a very, very good tool to give you an idea of what you need to do.
Okay, we've got a question from Kitty. Is Kitty still here? Like, Kitty, would you like to ask your question? I've unmuted you. Like,
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Richard. I would like
Yeah.
to know, for example, the mom account is A, and then the B and C for the child, and they don't have a lot of cruise release. Is that possible to transfer to the mom account and then go to staking? Do you know, is that possible?
Yeah, look, I did a Kitty, I'll send you, I did a slideshow I did a presentation on consolidating accounts to show you how to put, like if you've got a lot of people that have got little accounts, how to consolidate them into one account, so you're only paying one staking fee. I will send that. I'm actually getting out my notebook here right now. Send Kitty consolidation presentation. Okay, you'll get it tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
okay, Richard, I've got another one from Lynn. She doesn't have a speaker tonight, and I know what that's like because I had issues last week with my webinar, like with my video cam. I'm just going to read it out. They were going to release the rules for staking. Is that still happening, so that we are confident in what we are actually doing and when?
I think I think that'll come up on this webinar on this coming weekend. It's a little bit, I don't know why it happens the way it does, but one of the things that you do get a really good idea about what you're going to achieve in that little synopsis that they give before you confirm what you want to do. The thing that we don't know is how many times, and we got a bit of a hint when Andrew Hawkes was answering a question. Someone asked him a question, can you, in last week's webinar, what was the question? It was, can you take the 24-month staking time and do it month after month after month? That's me paraphrasing the question, and he was very, very solid on the fact that no. And his advice was to take the long period up front, but he said because nobody knows exactly what the rules are, but he gave a very strong indication that you're not going to be able to stake for 24 months every time you have your crew unlocks month after month after month. So, and for us to discuss how you're going to do it or what you're going to do, we'd be guessing. So that's one of the real critical questions that we do need to know. I mean, I look at the, we've got 1 month, 3 months, 6, 12, 18 and 24, which there's 6 different staking times on that chart. Does that mean that we're only going to get 2 of those in a 12-month period? I really don't know. And if Andrew does know, he wasn't letting on, but he was suggesting that we are not going to be able to just continually stake for 24 months. So we do hope, and hopefully we'll get the rules of staking this coming Saturday. It would seem logical. It would seem logical to have given it to us before they started staking, really, but it's Russia. We don't
Yeah,
do things.
Richard, can I ask you a question?
You can. So long as it's not a complicated one like last week. Go, Shurik.
Okay. See, I have already got an experience today. I have already, participated in the VIP club. Along with that, I just tried to stake my some 1100 CRUs. I just put it on a stake for 24 months. So what I got to know, okay, that I would be having approximately more than 650 CRU points, which would be coming up 2.5% per month. So on an average, if you talk about for 1,000 CRU points, it'll be 25 CRU points every month would be coming on to you. But when I see the figure 666 for those 1100 CRUs, that means they are being getting to us in a compounded way. Would I think so?
Okay.
Because 25 into 48.
Yep, no, I understand. Whether in the initial starting of the program we're getting some bonus payments made just to kick the thing off, I don't know. But I noticed that tonight on another one that I looked at, that the maths, they were getting more than what the mathematics suggested, that just the straight simple maths suggested that they would, but they haven't told anybody why, that we don't know. And they did say that it was not going to be compounded. They did actually say that it wasn't going to be. So I would love to be able to answer that question, but I can't. But it is certainly on the question list to be asked this Saturday night. So we didn't get, last Saturday, we didn't get a question and answer segment at the end of the webinar. So a lot of these questions would have been asked then, but we didn't get the chance to have one. So we will get, I mean, I've already sent that question in, hopefully so we can get it answered. But I noticed it tonight that the numbers were better. The numbers were better than what was suggested was going to be.
Okay, and I think, like say the portion that we have been putting up, if we talk about, like say once we put the money into VIP club and we put certain amount for us taking, talk about 24 months. So is that liable, or is that necessary for a person as a consultant to pay $30 every month till 24 months? Or if he pays once, and put it to a stake for 24 months, will he be liable for whole of the interest?
Yeah, no, you'll be paying every month. You'll be paying 24. If you stake it for 24 months, you'll be paying for 24 months.
No, I just put it for a stake once for 24 months. I have given my fees. If every month I want to stake, then I have to put 30 units. That's understandable. But if I paid for the initial first month and I get entered into it, then I have to pay for 24 months. This is what you mean to say?
As I understand it, and again, it's just how Richard Bonnell understands it, that if I stake it for 24 months, it doesn't matter that I staked it, that I put it in that 1 month, but for every 24 months it is staking for me and I'm earning a return on it, I will be paying $30 every month. Now that's my understanding of it. But
No, because why I'm asking you this? Because see, once a person buys an EIP, he said I am putting like say this number of units. I'll be getting it for another talk about these certain units in another 10 months. But here I am putting one time all my CRUs for a staking. That's in one particular month. Yep. And I have given the fees for that. So that doesn't, that should not count every month for another 23 months. I have to pay the same amount just for a staking.
Okay. That's what I believe you do have to do. But I haven't read a rule that says that you are going to be billed every month. And I haven't read a rule that says you aren't going to be billed every month. The only thing that I've read is blank paper that with, you know, the rules are going to be told, and hopefully they're going to be told. I mean, I would love to do it the way you suggested. I would love it to be that way. But I
don't think it's going to be that way. Like economics, it would be like if you don't pay your monthly fees, like it would change. Like I don't know what the parameters are on it all, but I can't see if you're not paying your VIP fees that you won't. It won't continue for the 24 months. I don't know whether they release it or what happens, but we're all like you guys. We're just still learning this, and I'm not sure what happens.
Yeah, because see, normally, if we talk about like say the small amount, Mitchell, like say any person wants to stake, just talk about 1,000 CRU points. Yeah. And he's a consultant. Yeah. He paid once that 30 units for being a member over there. And then once he stake his 1,000 CRUs, that it should not happen that every month he has to pay 30 units to reach those 24 months.
I think we're going to have to pay it every month. I could be wrong, but I would be very surprised if we didn't have to pay it every month.
Yeah, that's what it's again needs to be asked to, like say the Armands or someone else in the evening webinar, I think so.
Well, I mean, it's a question again. I sent in about 7 questions that I had, and that was one of them. For me to say this to a group of people, I can only tell you confidently what I know, and that's really nothing. How's that for a bit of exciting news? I know nothing. Sergeant Schultz.
I don't believe that for a minute.
No, there's just no way. You can't even. I don't know.
There's a comment in the saying that it will be staked, but you won't get interest on it. So maybe if you don't pay, I don't know if that's official, but it's in the comments at the moment. It's saying if it's not staked, you won't get interest on it.
You don't.
I think we have to read the terms and conditions. It's only come out today, and Richard has probably like I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. Like I'm going to, after this webinar, I'm going to sit down and look at it. But Richard had a brief look at it, and he's done really well. Again, this is not official information. It's just two people who have just are partners, and we're just trying to understand and work through the puzzle.
We will, and it's one that we'll be having a, oh, well, yeah. Well, there you go. Lynn's saying that Andrew Hawkes and some others will be having a question and answer session tomorrow night. So that would be good to be on that and get all of these questions, because my questions were sent to Andrew. So hopefully he will answer them on that webinar.
So is there any more questions, guys?
No.
How are we going?
No, Michelle's shaking her head. I can see Michelle stay there. She's shaking her head. She's had enough.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to make sure everyone gets
No, Michelle Star. Another Michelle. She's smiling like, no, I saw you shaking your head. You can't now say that you weren't.
Oh, Michelle Star.
Yeah.
Busted.
Yeah, I saw you. All right. If that's if that's
anybody
it,
else?
we'll
1, 2, 3.
Yep, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you guys.
That helped you, everybody. And we will. So don't forget next Tuesday night. Now next Tuesday night, not tomorrow. Next Tuesday week, we're going to do a webinar where we're going to get pretty in-depth into when you pay your EIP, when you buy an EIP, where does your money go and what happens to it from there? We're going to do we're going to go through the portfolio. We're going to go through in an in-depth to try and help people understand when you pay your money, where does your money go? What happens to it then? And then it'll be something that you can share with people so you've got a really good idea, a really solid idea of where all the money's being spent and what it's going on. And we're going to do a really big, thorough look at the whole 20 segments of what the company do and how they do it.
I'll get the web link out.
Yeah.
Andrew, I can see you. Andrew McNichol, hi. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and again thank you Richard from all of us. Like, we just love your work, and I can't wait to hear the information next week. I hope you guys will all join us again, and have a great night.
Okay, thanks guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.